We're live from New Delhi. You're watching DD India Live, India's voice to the world. I'm Lipakshi Kurana. Coming up in the next 30 minutes. Budget session of India's Parliament to begin with President's address to the joint session of both houses. Finance Minister to present economic survey in lower house. US President Trump blames diversity hiring for deadly mid-air collision between a passenger jet and a military helicopter. Investigators, however, say it will take time to understand the cause. Israel releases 110 Palestinian prisoners after delay over chaotic hostage hunt over. Fourth round of hostage prisoner swap to be held on Saturday. And in cricket, India will face England in the fourth T20 international match in Western Indian city of Pune. India leads the 5-match series 2-1. And on to the top story. The Indian Parliament's budget session 2025 will begin on Friday with the President's address to the joint session, setting the stage for key economic policies and legislative priorities. President Draupadi Murmu will address both houses of Parliament at 11 a.m. IST. The budget session will be in two phases. The first part will begin from today with the Union budget on February 1st and conclude on February 13th. The second part of the session will commence on March 10th and will conclude on April 4th. 3 days starting from February 3rd have been allotted for discussion on the motion of thanks on the President's address to be moved by a member and seconded by another member. Well, Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman is all set to present the Union Budget 2025 on Saturday, February 1st. But before she presents the budget in the Parliament, Minister Sitharaman will unveil the Economic Survey of India on Friday. The Economic Survey is released every year before the budget and it aims to highlight India's performance in terms of economy in the last financial year, basically a report card on outcome of steps announced in the previous budget. So in a way, the Economic Survey sets the tone for the forthcoming budget. And I get you this report explaining significance of the survey.
An economic survey is a comprehensive report that offers an in-depth analysis and insights into India's economy, focusing on various key factors. The Economic Survey 2024-25 will be presented today prior to the Union Budget presentation. The survey will be presented on Friday. Economic Survey covers following broader areas: detailed economic context, offering thorough assessment of the country's economic landscape to enable budgetary decisions on current financial situation on ground. Survey will identify key issues to analyze the economic trends and also various challenges. Economic Survey allows better policy discussions as lawmakers, economists, industry stakeholders receive the economic data in advance, allowing for well-informed debates and discussions when the budgetary allocations are announced. Economic Survey is divided into two sections. Part A reviews the overall economic performance, presenting data on fiscal trends and macroeconomic indicators, while Part B delves into socio-economic issues such as education, poverty and climate change, and also offers projections into GDP growth, inflation and trade. This year's comprehensive document, as is the norm, is prepared by the Economic Division of the Department of Economic Affairs, headed by India's Chief Economic Advisor, V. Anantha Nageswaran. Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman will table the document in Parliament on Saturday. The Economic Survey 24-25 is anticipated to emphasize job creation and boosting female workforce participation. It will examine economic indicators like agricultural and industrial production, employment, infrastructure, prices, imports, exports, money supply, and foreign exchange reserves. These insights will inform the government's fiscal strategy, guide reforms, and shape new economic policies. Essentially, the Economic Survey serves as a report card on India's economic health. Sakal Bhatt's report for DD India.
Well, India's Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman will present the Union Budget 2025 in the lower house of the Indian Parliament on the 1st of February 2025. And now let's take a look at the budget expectations from various sectors. Well, we take you to the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir and get your perspective on industry expectation from Budget 2025. Union Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman has already held a pre-budget consultation with J&K Chief Minister Omar Abdullah earlier this month. Shabir Dar of DD India has filed this report from Srinagar.
Jammu and Kashmir has been the focus area in our union budget over the past 10 years. And people here are expecting the same this time around as well.
Officials in know-how of the budget and finances said that Jammu and Kashmir has always been central to the Modi government's Viksit Bharat strategy. The same was reiterated by Prime Minister Narendra Modi on January 13, when he said that the dream of a developed India will be realized when its crown, Kashmir, is adorned with the jewels of progress. The Union Territory, which elected a new government in October last year, has petitioned the central government for more central funds to accelerate projects linked to agriculture, tourism and industry.
We have seen in the last 5-6 years, a lot of development as far as infrastructure development has been done in Jammu and Kashmir, especially in Kashmir and in the rural and urban areas as well. So we are expecting that more and more funds are to be allocated for the infrastructure development.
Union Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman has already held a pre-budget consultation with Jammu and Kashmir Chief Minister Omar Abdullah earlier this month.
We expect a massive package from the Union Finance Minister so that our economy grows and our infrastructure gets developed.
The Jammu and Kashmir budget for 2024-25 included 42,278 crore rupees as central assistance and 12,502 crore rupees as centrally funded scheme and Pradhan Mantri Development Package to the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir.
We hope that this budget have a good impact on a common man's life. Tourism is the backbone of this state and elsewhere India, because tourism is the second largest industry which we are getting finance and we are getting revenues from all over the India.
The hopes and expectations are high and the demands too are realistic. So the Jammu and Kashmir will definitely like to get more incentives and funds from the union government to accelerate its growth momentum. With cameraman Arshid, this is Shabir Dar for DD India in Srinagar.
And now to all the latest from the Mahakumbh, the largest gathering of humans anywhere on the planet. Well, the Mahakumbh fervour still continues with devotees from India and across the globe coming to Prayagraj. The administration issued a string of directives, cancelled all VVIP passes and declared the entire Mahakumbh area as a no-vehicle zone. Routes for devotees have been made one way to avoid overlapping, given the huge rush of people heading to the ghats and returning after a dip. Entry of vehicles from all adjoining districts has been banned and these will be stopped outside Prayagraj city. Instructions have also gone out to completely ban entry of four-wheelers inside the city until February 4th. The administration said these measures are designed to manage the crowds and ensure the safety of the devotees. People are being urged to adhere to the guidelines and cooperate. The popularity of the Mahakumbh and its cultural heritage are being recognized globally. Foreign devotees visiting the Mahakumbh were deeply impressed by Indian culture, and alongside their holy dip in the Ganga, they experienced India's religious and cultural traditions. Well, a special commemoration ceremony took place on Thursday at Tolstoy Farm in Johannesburg, South Africa, in honor of Mahatma Gandhi on Gandhi Remembrance Day. The event was attended by community members, activists and scholars. DD India correspondent Nazneen Ismail reports for more.
Today, in the heart of South Africa, a special commemoration is taking place at Tolstoy Farm, the site that was once the home to Mahatma Gandhi and his followers during their fight for justice and equality. Each year on Gandhi Remembrance Day, people from all walks of life gather here to honor the legacy of the man who shaped the course of history through his commitment to non-violence and social change. Today's event, attended by community members, activists and scholars, includes a series of reflections on Mahatma Gandhi's time in South Africa, where he first confronted the injustices of apartheid and racism. At Tolstoy Farm, Mahatma Gandhi's teachings of compassion, unity and peaceful resistance continue to inspire.
Today marks the 77th anniversary since the death of the great Mahatma. And today we are here present to report back to the Gandhi of the developments that have taken place during his absence.
It's a privilege and an honor to be with all of you on this very somber day, a day when we remember Mahatma Gandhi. I think I would be not wrong in saying that if India was Gandhiji's Janmbhumi, South Africa in many ways was his Karmabhumi, or at least the beginning of what shaped him into the Mahatma. I think for any Indian, visiting Tolstoy Farm is not short of being a pilgrimage, and I'm very humbled that I could be here today on this momentous occasion.
And he stood very strong in terms of his principles, despite being very simple. He stood for non-violence, truth, justice, love, and I think he really honored those principles and he inspired us. So as a leader, we must understand and follow that example of great leaders like Mahatma Gandhi.
Through these ceremonies, attendees reaffirm their commitment to peace and social justice as they honor the principles of truth and non-violence that Mahatma Gandhi championed. It's a powerful reminder of the ongoing struggle for human rights and equality. The spirit of Mahatma Gandhi's teachings continue to live on, not only in South Africa, but across the globe, as a beacon of hope for a more just and peaceful world. I'm Nazneen for DD India, Tolstoy Farm, Lenasia, South Africa.
And now let's take a look at other stories making news today. A group of devoted Buddhist pilgrims has embarked on a spiritual journey known as the Gyan Yatra, marking a ritual ahead of the upcoming International Buddhist Festival. The journey, which spans the route from Dangeshwari to Bodh Gaya, holds significant religious and cultural importance for Buddhists around the world. As the devotees make their way towards Bodh Gaya, they carry with them hopes for spiritual growth, peace and harmony for the world, embodying the timeless teachings of the Buddha. Fresh snowfall in Gulmarg has brought an exciting wave of joy and anticipation among the tourists, making it one of the most sought-after destinations in Kashmir once again. As the snow blankets the picturesque town in a serene white cover, it has created the perfect conditions for winter sports enthusiasts and nature lovers to indulge in the beauty of the season. Tourists from across the country and abroad have flocked to Gulmarg to experience its enchanting winter landscape. The Mulberry Tree Initiative in Udhampur has brought a major boost to sericulture farming in the region, offering new opportunities for economic growth and sustainable livelihoods. This initiative, which focuses on the cultivation of mulberry trees, vital for silkworm farming, is a significant step towards revitalizing sericulture, an industry that has long been a part of Jammu and Kashmir's agricultural heritage. Tree Initiative serves as a model in showing how agricultural innovation and traditional industries can work for economic development. And still to come in this edition of DD India Live. Trump says the US could soon put 25% tariffs on goods from Mexico and Canada. UN aid agency to continue operations in Palestine despite Israeli ban. And Srikanth cruises into quarterfinals at Thailand Masters. Shankar Subramaniam also makes dramatic comeback.
issues, hidden agendas, twists and turns, strategic games. We think all dots are linked. We just need to connect them. Join me every week as I connect the dots to unravel hidden designs in statecraft, mysteries, and decode issues that matter to you. Watch Connecting the Dots with me at these times on DD India.
Geopolitics and trade deals. Economic challenges amid development. Hard work and the path to prosperity. It's the economy always.
Welcome back. You're watching DD India Live. I'm Vipakshi Khurana, and moving on in a latest update in the Washington DC plane crash. The flight data and cockpit voice recorders have been recovered from the passenger jet that crashed into Washington's Potomac River after a deadly mid-air collision with a military helicopter, U.S. media reported. They would be analyzed by the National Transportation Safety Board, which is leading the investigation. There were no survivors among the 64 people on the jet and 3 soldiers on the helicopter. The cause of the air crash is not yet clear, and there is no evidence that efforts to make the federal workforce more diverse have compromised air safety. While U.S. President Donald Trump on Thursday, without providing evidence, linked the deadly mid-air collision of 2 aircraft in Washington to previous presidents' diversity policies. During the White House press conference, Trump said the deadly plane crash was the result of the Federal Aviation Administration's efforts to hire a more diverse and equitable workforce.
We do not know what led to this crash, but we have some very strong opinions and ideas, and I think we'll probably state those opinions now. I do want to point out that various articles that appeared prior to my entering office, and here's one. The FAA's diversity push includes focus on hiring people with severe intellectual and psychiatric disabilities. That is amazing. And then it says FAA says people with severe disabilities are most underrepresented segment of the workforce, and they want them in, and they want them, they can be air traffic controllers. I don't think so. This was in January 14th, so that was a week before I entered office. They put a big push to put diversity into the FAA's program.
Meanwhile, Kansas Governor Laura Kelly said on Thursday they are pressing federal authorities and American airlines for answers and names of victims after a passenger plane flying from Wichita crashed in the Washington, D.C.
We know that there are 4 people from overseas that had not been notified. We don't know how many actually have. American Airlines is responsible for notifying the families of the folks who perished in this plane crash. They would like it very much if you think you might know somebody, if you think a friend of yours, a family member, or someone else was on that plane, please contact American Airlines, and let me give you their number. It is 1-800-679-8215.
Well, the global figure skating's tight-knit community was in mourning on Thursday after a passenger jet crash in Washington killed 2 former world champion coaches and young stars from the next generation of top U.S. talent. The sport's national governing body said the athletes, coaches and family members on board the flight were returning from the National Development Camp held in conjunction with the U.S. Figure Skating Championships held this year in Kansas. The exact number of people on board who were involved in figure skating or had a family member who was a skater was uncertain, but media reports said there were at least 14 on the flight. The Skating Club of Boston said it lost 6 individuals from its organization, including coaches Vadim Normov and Yevgenia Shishkova, who won the World Championships in pairs figure skating in 1994. And here's what we know so far about the Washington mid-air crash. Just before 200 GMT on Thursday, a Bombardier jet was approaching Reagan National Airport when it collided with a U.S. Army Black Hawk helicopter. American Eagle Flight 5342 was flying to the U.S. capital from Wichita, Kansas, typically a journey time of just under 3 hours. Air traffic controllers asked the jet to switch its landing route from one runway to another shortly before the crash. Ahead of the crash, controllers warned the helicopter it was on course to collide with a passenger jet. Footage captured a small aircraft heading towards a well-lit descending plane before a fireball can be seen. Both plunged into the Potomac River, with the plane fuselage splitting into 3 separate pieces. American Airlines reported 60 passengers and 4 crew members were aboard the flight, while 3 U.S. Army personnel were on the helicopter. The plane was carrying athletes and coaches from the elite figure skating world. And moving on, Israel released 110 Palestinian prisoners late on Thursday after delaying the process over chaotic hostage handover. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said the sight of the chaotic handover was shocking and threatened death to anyone hurting hostages. Netanyahu and the Israeli Defense Minister said they had ordered a delay in the releases of the prisoners until the safe exit of our hostages in the next phase is assured. The Prime Minister's office said later that mediator had committed to ensuring the safe passage of hostages in future handovers. Later on, 2 buses carrying Palestinian prisoners reached Ramallah in the occupied West Bank on Thursday, their arrival cheered by hundreds of waiting Palestinians. Israel's prison service confirmed it had freed 110 prisoners on Thursday as part of the agreement with Hamas for a truce in Gaza, which came into effect on January 19th. This was the 3rd round of the hostage prisoner swap. The next round will be held on Saturday, under which Hamas will release 3 male hostages. And the United Nations on Thursday said its humanitarian relief agency UNRWA would continue working in all Palestinian territories despite Israeli legislation coming into force that cuts ties with the organization. Israel decided to ban the UN agency following accusations that some of its staff belonged to Hamas.
UNRWA clinics across the occupied West Bank, including East Jerusalem, are open. Meanwhile, the humanitarian operations in Gaza continues, including with UNRWA work there. UNRWA says it is committed to staying and delivering.
Well, UN Secretary-General Antonio Guterres on Thursday demanded that 2,500 children be immediately evacuated from Gaza for medical treatment after meeting with U.S. doctors who said the children were at imminent risk of death in the coming weeks. The 4 doctors had all volunteered in Gaza during the 15-month-long conflict that has decimated the healthcare system of Gaza. And U.S. President Donald Trump on Thursday said he would soon decide whether to exclude Canadian and Mexican oil imports from the 25% tariffs that he has vowed to impose on Saturday on the country's products. Trump has set a Saturday deadline to impose 25% tariffs on imports from Mexico and Canada to push the 2 largest U.S. trading partners to take action to halt illegal migrants and shipments of fentanyl from crossing their borders into the U.S., Canada and Mexico supplied more than 70% of U.S. crude oil imports in 2023, with nearly 60% coming from Canada alone. Well, Trump also said he was still considering new tariffs on Chinese goods, citing its part in the fentanyl trade. He's threatened a 10% duty on all Chinese goods after imposing punitive tariffs on some $370 billion worth of Chinese imports during his first term in office. And on to some sports news now. Former world number 1 Kidambi Srikanth has advanced to the quarter-finals of the men's single event at the Thailand Masters Badminton Tournament after a victory in Pathumban on Thursday. The Indian shuttler beat Jason Gunawan 21-19, 21-15 in their round of 16 match. This was Srikanth's 2nd straight game win over Gunawan in as many meetings. In other men's single match, Shankar Subramaniam produced a valiant fight back to defeat Indonesia's Chico Ora Dwe Wardoyo 9-21, 21-10, 21-17. Subramaniam lost the first game but rallied to win the second and take the match into a decider. Shankar was down 14-9 in the decider but produced a spirited comeback to win the third game and move into the quarter-finals. And in men's cricket, India will face England in the fourth T20 international match based in India's city of Pune. In the third T20 international match, England defeated India by 26 runs at Niranjan Shah Stadium in Rajkot, Gujarat on Tuesday. Despite this loss, the Suryakumar Yadav-led Indian side still leads the 5-match series 2-1. All right, that's all for this edition of DD India Live, but let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. For those on the go, you can get all the latest news and updates from India and across the world on the DD India mobile app. The app is available on both Android and iOS platforms. Scan the QR code on the screen to download now. Well, we'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Lipakshi Khurana from all of us here in Delhi. Thanks for watching DD India Live.